So, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Hey Oris, welcome. Tonight I want quickly to present what's going on with TORCS 1.3.9. Basically, it's so far more or less an infrastructure release. As you might know, the earlier TORCS versions were since a long time able to be compiled on 46-bit on Linux, but not on Windows, because dependencies were compiled as 32-bit libraries and with pretty old development environments like Visual Studio 6 and 2008. And basically, this release brings Visual Studio 2022 support. This is the current edition. I think 2026 will come out soon, but it's not out yet. And there is now also 46-bit build for Windows supported. I guess once this is established, then with 1.3.9 I will get rid of the 32-bit build, just to make maintenance a bit easier. That's that. There will be also some little bug fixes, which we won't talk about today much. So today I will basically test a bit the release and demonstrate the reworked card. This is the 155 DTM card. Philipp Körper reworked that. Thank you for that. Let's see. So this is basically this one. This was beforehand a very plain model with just a few polys, and now it's actually pretty nice from my point of view. That's how it looks like now. Basically, this is modeled according to a card in the 1996 ITC, International Touring Car Championship. This was also the DTM, and this is the version with 490 horsepower, 1040 kilograms curb weight, and what else is to say? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, and basically we will play and test that a bit today. And we can also show the interior. This Philipp is a professional vehicle artist in Developer Studio, and he did also play then with basically rendering ambient occlusion maps and such stuff for TORCS and Blender. And this is the outcome is pretty nice. The cockpit is very simple and low poly as usual in TORCS to save performance, but I think it looks pretty good for the future geometry it has. So we can have a bit different views. For example, the lights are also pretty nice here with the interiors and the exhausts. I like it a lot. Yeah, and that's it. It is parameterized with the values of the 1996 ITC competitor. The car was also used from 1993, I guess, but the first versions were, I guess, 20 kilo heavier, had less downforce, and had just 420 horsepower. Just 420. Also a lot, but hey. And it is four-wheel driven. That is special about that thing, with a ratio of 33% to the front and 66% to the rear, or 67, something around that. Yeah, that's to that. What else? Yeah, then let's have a spin with that thing by ourselves. This was just a demo robot which I set up. And basically do this on wheel 2, because for wheel 2 we have actually a lap time from 1996, which was 2:02.7 from Christian Danner in the qualifying, but the track layout was different. Let's see. let's have a short talk about that. Basically, this is our version of Suzuka, Wheel 2. And the chicane, for going to the straight, that's where I have the mouse cursor now. There was a casino chicane which was much tighter. So basically, currently with that car, I can go here through with around 170 or 180 kilometers per hour. And I guess back then it was more like 70 or so, because it was more or less a 90-degree turn and then a 90-degree turn back, or even worse. And also the distance was probably longer, so you were much slower then. So we should expect significantly higher lap times, and to simulate that we can then slow down here for once to 70 kilometers per hour, chill a bit for a few meters and then accelerate and see if that fits. So then that's the track. Don't be confused with the naming. I was just too lazy to rename my player. You can see that it is this car here. You see also the category is the category which it has before. I might rename that at some point here, because I'm thinking about making a category for this touring cars from 1996, and there was also the Calibra, which was also four-wheel driven, but there were also Mercedes, and one guy had, if I remember correctly, even a Mustang, and those were rear-wheel driven. So we have to be able to mix that in the category if we want to do that. So then let's go. I can show quickly the setup that you get an idea. Currently the ride height is pretty high. The reason for that is because this is a general setup, and we have a lot of dirt tracks and stuff, so if people just take the car for a spin on any track, nothing bad happens. That's the reason for that. Otherwise, everything is pretty normal. On the differential section here, you see the distribution, that 33% goes to the front. We have a bit of roll stabilizers or anti-roll bar, and what I have the first time here in a car in TORCS from default configured and not zero, this is the third element. Actually, I think that car did not have that back then, but just for fun, I did that a bit for that. Yeah, that's to that. So let's go. First we have, of course, to warm up the tires. They are cold now. And maybe I have then to reduce the brake pressure a bit. I had the impression that it is a bit high. We will see. Yeah, that's what I meant. Although the tires are still cold, so... I have also to adopt a bit to four-wheel drive because you can get much more aggressive out of the corners, like with rear-wheel driven cars, but on entry you have to fight understeer a bit. So tires get slowly warmer, still pretty cold, but not terrible anymore. And this is the chicane, which was back then much slower. You see, I can go through here with 180 or so. And back then it was a real chicane with the layout. Also the speedometer, the tachometer is not yet adapted. You see basically that it goes to 10,000 and sticks there. The thing is that engine that revs up to 12,000 RPM. This is a pretty crazy thing. And delivers the maximum power around this RPM. I think it's around 11,500 or so. I can recommend you to watch a YouTube video of that car and to search it. The sound is absolutely mind-boggling of that thing. So, tires are warm, we can then try a real lap. If I would have to guess, this will be something around 157 this time or so, around 58, we will see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, screw that up. Next time. I need to warm up a bit. Tires are brilliant now with the temperature. So, let's see if we have more luck this time. Okay, cut corner, whatever. So let's see, on a good day I'm able to do a 154, I guess. By the way, I'm driving with my gamepad again, which has sadly the braking and the acceleration coupled. So I cannot brake and accelerate at the same time. You see also from the tire wear, the front tires are suffering much more because it is four-wheel driven. This was now very conservative. So, let's see what we get. Yeah, okay. 154.46 now. Yeah. Hold on. So let's slow down a bit. Tires are cool. They're good temperature. Yeah. So let's try get around to another lap where we simulate the chicane to see what the lap time does in regards of the qualifying time in 1996. Because this is now kind of 8 seconds too fast. If you wonder how this compares to the TRB1 cars, it has around 60 horsepower less and a lot less ground effect. So let's try to do a simulated lap from the old track. So basically we go full steam all the way around till the last chicane, and then we take it slow. So now let's simulate it. 70, tuck, tuck, and go. Yeah, this was 2 something, not too bad. Okay. And I did not consider that the track was also longer. Okay, that was quite good. Let's quickly see what's going on in the chat. Ah, nice. I hope you have fun working on the robot. That's pretty cool. So, what's next? I would like to try Brandshatch and Corkscrew as next, just to set the lap to get an idea.
1 minute 50 seconds. 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 1 minute 50
So basically 3 or 4 laps, warming up the tires and 1 hot lap as a reference. The lap times on this track are usually too fast because the one chicane, I will tell you when we pass it, because if you look real life races, because the track is not over there, you cannot go as fast through it as in TORCS. This is basically that thing here. In reality, you have to really break down here. Here you can basically go full steam through. Tires are still pretty cold. Still not even 70 degrees. There's another lap to warm up. Oopie, that was a bit wet. So, let's try to do a hot lap. Okay, 122. I think this is in the realms of a modern touring car on that track, which is actually too fast, but it's explained through the chicane. They have to break down there quite a lot, so basically I think I would be around 3 seconds lower if the track would be narrower. Yeah, that comes close, I guess. So let's catch up with the chat. Bitte the source for discussion and interpretation. Ah, sounds nice. Yeah, I mean, the actual robots are also not perfect. In the championship, we had actually pretty cool ones. So, what's next? I want also to try corkscrew. And in the end, of course, the Nordschleife. Oopsie. Tires are still stone cold. So, tires are still not brilliant, but better. 122, okay, so maybe a 120 would be possible or so. Oops. Let's do another one. And the second turn I always go into understeering. Okay, around 120. Somebody who knows what he's doing might be maybe 1.5 or so seconds faster, but that's good. Cool. So, let's see what the chat is doing. Hey Artotus, good evening. So, now let's try the Notchlife. Do I have it installed at all here? Yes. What's important, that's not part of the TORCS distribution because it is in a very rough state. So I think I will try to do 2 laps, one for warm-up and one full. I guess if everything goes well, it will be something below 7 minutes, but we will see. The second one, the first one probably not. And only if I don't screw it up, which is entirely possible on that track. Almost. Whoa. That's a rare one. I never had that. Something new. Tires are around 50 degrees, so still cold. Wow, these curves are super high. Okay, around 60 degrees, that's better. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What I wonder, in some online journals and stuff, they claimed this car was going at times 300 kilometers per hour. I have a bit a hard time to believe that, because it has just 490 horsepower and quite a front area. So, and in TORCS on the ovals where it can go full steam the whole time, it goes max 281 with the default setup or so. Oh, this corner is much nicer with four-wheel drive. With rear-wheel drive it's always a drama. There is this hop here, I guess. Yeah, here it is. So, let's see. Tires are pretty good now. So let's go. Oh no. That's a bummer. So let's see where I end up with that. Guess short around 7 minutes or so with the spinning out. This probably cost around 5 seconds or maybe more, I don't know, maybe more. Okay, this was around 6:45. Okay, let's try another one. So I think a 6:40 should be possible. Ooh, careful. So, almost around. Oof. The front tires are a bit cold. I would have expected to this turn to go full steam. Yay, 634. Okay. Cool. So, what to do next? Let's quickly check the chat. Yeah, it's fun to do TORCS again. There was just a lot of stuff in between, like COVID and stuff, so, but it's good to work on it a bit again. It's good fun. So I think I will do a quick race, and the last time on the release party for the 1.3.8 we did a kind of multi-class race. I think we do something like that again. Let's take wheel 2. I think I already set it up, so we will have TRP1 cars, which are much stronger than the thing which we have. Then we have TRP3, they should be slower than us, and in between there is one of those guys here, Inferno 10. I set that up with the same car. So if we are lucky, we might come up around, what's that? Around 12 in the end, and maybe we can even beat one or the other of that. So if we're lucky, yeah, maybe we can get 5th or 6th or so. But we should at least get 12th or 13th, around that ballpark. Yeah, let's see how this goes. 15 laps, we had 154, but this was a quick lap, so in racing it will be lower than average, so it's around half an hour. So let's do that. There is a warning about the stream bitrate. I hope the stream is doing fine. What does it say here? Here it means everything is good. Okay, then let's go on. So first I have to warm up the tires. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oops. Hello, colleague. Tires are still pretty cold. Okay, cutting corners. Whoa. I was looking at the tire temperature and then there was a slow car. Man. Crazy. What's that? That's... I cannot see it. Good news is I did not collect yet a lot of damage. It's a bit of a furball ahead. Uh-oh. Ah. Oops. So P5 so far and a bit of damage. Oh, this are already overlappings. Oof. Is this a genuine opponent in front? Yes. So currently I'm kind of in no man's land. Quite the gap to behind. Not front left tire should be pretty good actually. So, halfway through. How is the tire wear doing? Good. I wonder if I will be able to catch up this guy. Or maybe the back marker help. Oh, Bob. Wrong decision. Tire temps are perfect. More traffic ahead. So, the next guy is pretty far ahead. Just four laps to go, I guess. That doesn't help. This is a back marker again. Oopsie. Two laps to go. The front starts to run a bit colder. I got a bit more understeer. Does he have quite some damage because he's not that fast? Okay, that was cheating. I have 6 seconds penalty, okay. Oh, this is the last lap, by the way. So I will probably get third in the end. Maybe. Let's see how it turns out. Yeah, Inferno 4 was 34, was around 10 seconds behind, so I should be third, we'll see. But maybe the other guys have penalties too, we'll see. So, okay, we ended up actually third. What were the lap times? 1:55.17, and we started from the very back. Yeah, but then PC is almost collected no penalties. Top speed was actually not too bad compared with the other guys, but they had probably damage from the beginning or something. Plus 25. Yeah, that worked out pretty cool. Good. So let's catch up with the chat. Yeah, that with the braking is basically, these are very, very old implementations, partly from the times where we had much slower processors, so they do some compromises that they, for example, do not re-evaluate the trajectory which they compute to save CPU cycles. At some point, we can improve on that. That's why are they behaving so weird, some robots at least. The car sound is actually, I took that from the Formula One car and changed the frequency. It's that thing. Hey George, apparently is no longer as planted that it used to be. Yeah, I reparameterized it basically on real world data, so it has, I guess, quite a lot less downforce. I don't know, the engine is probably stronger, I think. Okay, just for fun. What do we have here around? We can do a test run with the with the bot of that car on some extreme tracks to see if the setup is exploding somehow. This one. So let's see if that works. Looks good so far. Yeah, that's good. What else? Yeah, regarding flying, I have here also the extreme test track installed. I have another change implemented, which is kind of experimental. I don't know if I will keep it in. It basically is a little adjustment to the surface normal calculation of the track. Yeah, but it looks good so far. Okay, you said flying. Okay. When we talk about flying, which one was it? I can never remember. Was it that? Oh no, this is not so wild. That is the wild one. Yeah, that's good. Oops. Then it was that. Okay, let's go. So, fasten your seatbelt, put the seat upwards. Yep, that works good. Regarding top speed, we can do a novel. Which one was it? Was that done? I think it will go up to 281 or so. Top speed. $282. Okay. With that setup, of course. So let's try the Oletros roads as last extreme tests. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, looks sensible. Next. Bye, George. Have a nice evening. Thank you for joining. See you another time. This looks all pretty good. The wheels are also not cutting the car body. Good. What I could try is E-Track 4. Because they're on the straight, the nose could go up. Let's see. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, those guys have kind of bump detection, by the way. That's why they do not go full steam on E-Track 2. On Dirt 2, I mean. For example, the BTs and Oletros, they go full steam over the bumps, but this guy not. We can quickly show that. So, whatever. So. So now it gets interesting when it gets full steam over it. That's cool. What's not to laugh? In contrast to that one, this is pretty shy. So, I think that works pretty good. So, I think I will call it a day for now. So, thank you for joining, and have a good time, and see you the next time. Bye.